Hey guys, Matt here from PlaiOfficial, and today, as requested, I'm going to be doing a starter guide to VuhDo. I will do an advanced guide soon, but I figure it's best to get the basics out of the way first. So obviously, as you're going to want to do with any add-on, the first thing you're going to want to do is make sure it's enabled. So if you scroll down here, look for VuhDo. Where are we? Yeah, my VuhDo is enabled. There's two that you have to enable. There's VuhDo and the options for VuhDo. Now when you first log in, VuhDo will be looking pretty damn plain, to be honest. If I just drag them over here, just to the right hand side of my character, as you can see, it's just three little bars. You know, you've got main tanks, you've got private tanks, you've got the groups which will expand along, and then you've got the pets which will show in this blank frame here. So it's looking pretty plain right now, but you know, I'm going to show you how to change all that up in another video. So for starters, you know, it may have some spells that are like preset to certain things. So if I try clicking on myself, yeah, that's already assigned to flash heal. Great heal is assigned to right click evidently. If I try scroll up, no, and scroll down doesn't work either. Obviously you can also do shift, control, alt click is set to prayer of healing. So that's a bit inconvenient for me, really. I don't really like that. So what you're gonna have to do is type /VuhDo space opt, as you can see in the little say box in the left hand corner, and hit enter. Then this will come up. You're probably thinking, whoa, loads of buttons. It's not actually that complicated. For the basics, we won't really have to touch many of these at all. Now for starters, I am going to show you just how to assign spells. So as you can see, you've got a load of tabs down the right hand side and a load of tabs down the bottom. Tabs down the bottom are your main features, and the tabs along the right hand side are what, well, they're sort of like sub features of that main feature. So we're going to start off by going to spells. Okay, this is really simple. If you change the spell name under left button, when you left click on a bar, it will cast that spell. Change the spell under right button, when you right click, it will cast that spell. It's that easy. And as you can see, you know, there's loads and loads of button options here. So if you have a mouse like mine, I have the Razer Naga, you can even assign it so when you press different buttons on the side of your mouse over that bar, that it will cast those spells on that person. So left button, well, I always like to think of what I've done with all of my other characters is I've set my normal heal that I can just click and click away at and not worry about mana on my normal click. On my right button, so it's easy to access, I've selected flash, if I can spell it right. There we go. So you know, that's pretty easy so far. I can heal away. Oh shit, someone's taking loads of damage. Flash. There we go, lovely. 80k crit, that's not bad at all, is it? That was like more than half my health. Anyway, so middle button, I don't really want anything on middle click, because I use my middle click for push to talk on things like Ventrilo and Skype and that lot. So I don't want anything on middle click, and I don't want anything on the side buttons of my mouse either. I just want click, right click, and then scroll up and scroll down. Now, as you can see, scroll up and scroll down are just here. So for scroll up, I might select power word shield. Scroll down, prayer of mending. Oh, I've not spelled that right, have I? There we go. So after this, you know, I'm gonna hit OK to make sure these work. So scroll up. Yep, it's put a bubble on me, and obviously I'm getting that body and soul buff. If I scroll down, it has applied prayer of mending to me. Lovely. If I click, it heals me. If I right click, it flash heals me. That's great. Lovely and easy. And my prayer of mending's ready. Great. So I'm gonna go back into the VuhDo options, and well, to have 4 spells assigned to this may be enough for some people or low levels, but really when you're raiding with an add-on like VuhDo, you're gonna need much more than 4 spells bound to it. So we're going to have to adding like key modifiers. So if we go to shift, when I shift click, I want greater heal. So I think that will work quite well, because I can be clicking, casting heal. You know, if I don't want to flash them but they are taking a bit more damage, I can just simply hold shift down and start greater healing. So I think that would work out really well for me, so I'm going to use that. For my shift right button, I'm going to use binding heal. So, well, I can't really do this on anybody at the moment, but binding heal is, I like to think of it as like a flash heal that heals somebody else and you at the same time. It is more efficient than greater heal, so I am going to use that, but it's the same cast time as flash heal, so I want to put it on kind of the same sort of keybind, so I find it easier to remember, and well, yeah, just that's about it, really easy to remember. On my shift up and down, well, if I go off that set gods spellbook, open VuhDo options again, I'm going to have a quick look through my spellbook and, well, kind of figure out what other spells I might cast on somebody. So what do we have here? Leap of Faith. I might set Leap of Faith. Leap of Faith to shift and scroll down. You know, you might not find it all that convenient to be using Leap of Faith from your VuhDo, but if you are, then you know it's definitely an option, definitely something you can be doing. I actually do like to use Leap of Faith from my VuhDo, and I find it quite helpful, to be honest. Then pain suppression. Well, yeah, pain suppression. That can simply go on shift scroll up, can't it? You know, that's easy to get to. Someone's taking footloads of damage, pain suppress them, all damage taken reduced by 40%, great, lovely. Win-win, isn't it? Now, I haven't actually remembered to keybind my penance yet, so, you know, I'm actually going to change, I'm actually going to change my pain suppression to penance. Because I want penance, something I can get to really easily. Because obviously it's something I'm going to be casting, well, near enough on cooldown. It's nice spell penances, I love it. And it looks quite nice as well. So where can we put pain suppression? I like to put my cooldowns on. Well, yeah, I like to put cooldowns on things that aren't super easy to click by accident, but at the same time they're not super hard to just randomly click by accident, if you get what I mean. So I think because I've got my hand like near WASD in that area, I'm going to use shift and alt. So where are we? If we go on alt plus shift, there we go, alt plus shift, scroll up, pain suppression. Oh, I've done that wrong. There we go. So, you know, as you can see, you can add pretty much all your spells to this. I'm not going to add every single spell I've got because that will pretty much take forever. So, you know, let's check that some of these work. We got greater heal, flash heal, bubble, got a prayer of mending up there. So yeah, lovely, they're all working fine. So next we're probably going to change around the sizing of these bars, because I do think that that's a bit too small. Maybe if you're 25 man raiding it might be alright, but especially if 10 man raiding, I do think that bar is too small. So along the bottom again, we're going to go to panels this time, and along the right hand side it's pretty self-explanatory, we go to sizing. This may look complicated again, but it's really not. You've got the bar width, as you can see the bar's getting bigger there, so I'm going to have it about 120, and the bar height, I might have that about size 40, so you know that's a pretty fucking big bar there. You know, as you can imagine, that's going to take up quite a lot of space. I don't actually have them this big when I'm raiding, it's just for test purposes. The X gap and the Y gap and the X spacing, Y spacing are simply how the distance between the individual bars. So if you make those a lot bigger, you know, you'll have a massive gap in between every person's bar. And the scaling of the bars, well, that's pretty much self-explanatory as well. You can have them fucking massive. But for now, I'm going to leave that at 1 times. Lovely. In fact, no, I'll scale that up a bit, just for the fact so you lot can actually see everything I'm doing fine. So there we go. So yeah, that's pretty much all we wanted to do there then, isn't it? Now if I wanted to change the size of this bar, for example, then well, as you can see when I'm on this one, the panel 1 is lit up and flashing. If there's another panel, you simply double click on it and it will light up and flash. If I want to change the size of these again, I can change the size of it to make it massive, or again I can make it really diddy. I don't even know where that's gone. Oh, it's just here. If you can see that, that's really tiny. So I'll leave that at 1 times. There we go. Because I'm not really going to be using that much. If you don't like having more than one bar, or you only want the group 1, 2, etc., then what you're going to have to do is go to move. Now this is a bit more complicated, but it's not as hard as you think. Okay, as you can see here, this is how they will expand out into group 1, 2, etc. And by selecting choose, you can say what you want them to do. So I can go on class. I can have only classes on individual ones if I want. I can go on group and select group 1, blah 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 blah. I can go on special and add pets or main tanks. I find it quite helpful to have a frame for the main tanks usually, so you can really make it a bit bigger and see, you know, what the tank's health is on basically. But for now I'm just going to leave it as group 1, press OK, and we're done and dusted. Now I don't want these main tanks, private tanks or pet, so I'm simply just going to, well, press the X and yeah, really. Okay, now you can always add more on later, and if I go on class warriors, okay, you know, that's done and dusted. And again, yeah, really, yes. So if we hit OK, and they're gone, they're vanished, woo, they're gone out of existence. As you saw, you can always add more later. Now what else is there to do? If we go back on here, you'll see that all of those flashy bits go away, so that's all fine. Now the next thing I'm going to show you is how to change the icons, or things that let you basically know what's happening on a player. So as you can see, when I add a prayer of mending to myself, it adds this icon up here. This is basically saying my prayer of mending has 4 charges left. If I bubble myself, you can see it adds this circle. As the bubble gets absorbed, this circle will go down. So if it has half left, you will only see half the circle. If it has 3/4 left, you will only see 3/4 of the circle. And they all have timers on as well. If you want to change these, which I'll imagine you will, we're going to go to panels and hot icons. Now, as you can see, well, this does look slightly complicated, but it's not really that complicated. On the left hand side, this is the layouts of the actual hot orders. So as you can see, I've currently got it set to this one. I don't really like this layout so much. I usually go for the second layout. You can add more layouts and literally move around your buttons and everything, but I generally find that the layouts it gives you are pretty nice, to be fair, so I just like to leave those alone. Now you can also set it to icons, so I can set it so it shows the icon of my prayer of mending and the icon of my bubble inside that circle, or you can set them to glossy, so it's like a glass finish, or flat, so it's just completely flat, like a 2D kind of feel. So I usually like to have it glossy. and the stacks, you can turn the stacks off so it doesn't show how many are left. I think it's better to have those turned on. Or you can have it set to triangles or text. I actually prefer triangles. I think, you know, it shows you really well, because you're going to have 4 triangles, then 3, then 2, then 1. And also what this will do is when I have 3 stacks left, it will turn green, 2 stacks left, it will turn orange, 1 stack left, it will turn red. So, you know, it really lets you know when your prayer of mending is going to run out, and I found that super helpful. So I'd suggest having glossy and triangles set for that, and this option 2 selected. Now, I don't really want my prayer of mending all the way over here. I want it on the right hand side. So as you can see, icon 1 is on the right hand side, as we can see there. So I'm going to go over to slot 1 and select prayer of mending. Now I've got 2 prayer of mending, so I'm just going to get rid of that one for now. So as you can see now, when I prayer of mending myself, it's on this side. So, you know, that will be on this side on everybody's panel. So if this guy was in my group, his panel was just underneath mine, his prayer of mending icon would just be here if it bounced to him. Now I don't really want bubble in this corner either. I'm going to set bubble to place, I'll set it to place 3, and again I'll make that empty. You can add other players' hots and stuff, so, you know, this is especially good if you're tank healing, or raid healing even. You know, you could set other players' hots, and for example, I could see if there was a guy just next to me, his health had gone a bit down. If some resto druid has loaded hots on him, there's not much point me healing him. So I could select that, and it would show that another resto druid has fucking loaded him up with hots. So I can think, right, I won't heal him, I will heal somebody without the resto druid's hots. You know, it's better for both people, isn't it, really? So that is a pretty helpful thing to have. So I'm going to set that for slot 4, yeah, so it's kind of out the way, but I'll still be able to see it. Another really helpful thing is the cluster finder, and I'm going to set this to slot 2. Now, it's not really that helpful for people like priests or anybody where the healing's spread out. Like prayer of healing, it's got massive range, so it doesn't really matter about that. But if you're someone like a holy paladin, or a resto chamois, or even a mistweaver monk, you know, I'd suggest selecting that cluster finder. And what it will do, if there's a group of people within about 10 yards that are all below about 85%ish health, it will put a little icon on them where you've set your cluster finder to show, and pretty much it's telling you you can cast a holy radiance or a chain heal there, and it will heal everybody for a decent amount. So it's pretty much so you can mindless holy radiance and chain heal. You don't need to cast them anywhere and hope for the best. You know that if you cast it on one of those people with the cluster finder, it is definitely going to heal for a good amount. So that is actually an amazing part of VuhDo. I'd suggest always having that set. If you're a priest, again, not as much, but especially if you're a pally or a chamois or even a monk, then definitely you want that cluster finder. Or even a resto druid, so you can pop down your swift mend there, so that's nice as well. Another great option about VuhDo is, where are we? Where is it? If we scroll right down to the bottom, there's an awful lot of options you can hear. There's one third from the bottom called Tank Cooldowns Extended. I like to put this in the middle, and you don't have to do this, you shouldn't click edit, but I'm going to click edit just to show you. Pretty much it will show you all of these spells, which are pretty much all of the main tank cooldowns in the game. If you're good at using this, if you get used to using VuhDo, you can add new spells to it, you can add bits and bobs, so you could add Spirit Shell to it to know when somebody has Spirit Shell. But for now I'm not going to look at that at all. But pretty much what it will do is, if I pain suppress myself, so if I go off this side, pain suppress myself, oh no, There we go. Now supposedly it should show a massive icon in the middle, but obviously I haven't added pain suppression to this, so I will need to do that at some stage. But yeah, it should, well, if a tank pops, I guess it's not a tank cooldown, is it? If a tank uses a cooldown such as shield wall, it will show a pretty big icon right in the middle, so you can see, right, okay, I don't need to spam up hots on them, because they've got a cooldown popped and they're not going to take as much damage. I find that really helpful. It also works for raid cooldowns such as Aura Mastery. It will show Spirit Shell. It will show the Priest's big bubble thing. It will show this power word barrier. So yeah, it really is very helpful. That is, you should have that set as well. Okay, next, hot bars. These are pretty much the same thing but in bars. I prefer to have this top icon selected because I think that's the best layout really. It lines up well with your other bits. So if I go back onto hot icons 1 and 3. So what is number 1? Number 1 is prayer of mending. So if I add prayer of mending to that and powered shield to that, if I try bubble myself now, well, if I try prayer of mending myself now, should I say, you can see we've added this bar across the top to show how long's left. Same with if we bubble ourselves, you can see we've added this bar across the top, and yeah, it's just showing us how long that bubble has left, which is insanely nice. I love it. I think it's really helpful. What I do really like about this is for Mistweaver monks. I think that with your renewing mists, obviously you need to know how long it's left, so you can use it with your Thunder Focus T to make the best effect out of it. So you can see when everybody's bar's getting really low, you can use Thunder Focus T uplift, refreshes them all. I think that's an amazing feature for Mistweaver monks, just as it is for any other healer, so you can just tell really easily when you need to refresh those hots. Now VuhDo also has a section up here that's been hiding itself. I've now put it just beneath my bar. As you can see, it says VuhDo Buff Watch. If we go into the options again and press buffs, well, we can tick which ones we want, and it will simply just add buffs to our bars. And as you can see, when you click on them, it pops them all on for you. So as you can see right now, we've used our power infusion, we've used our levitate, etc, etc. We've got our inner fire on, if you want inner fire, and we've got our power word fortitude on. You know, you can add fear ward, you can add missing chakra if you're holy, you can add pain suppression, you can add shadow fiend, you can add so many things, but that's spammed up so much. So I generally just add, I usually use inner will, so I'll add that. I usually add these two and I'll put it somewhere out the way, so somewhere neat and tidy like that, just so when I'm buffing up I can just click through those, and you know, it saves you a couple of spots on your action bars, and it's a lot easier to see. Also, if somebody is missing that buff, if there's one person missing the buff in your raid, it will still show player 00 go 1. If that number is go 24, that will mean 24 people are missing a buff. But because there's only one, then it will only show as go 1. Those are only people within range. So if you are in a party and there's somebody right over the other side of the map, it's not going to keep complaining to you that they haven't got a buff. So don't worry, that is all good. And to be honest guys, that's pretty much a basic setup for VuhDo done. I will be releasing an advanced guide, pretty much so you can learn all about the bouquets and how to add really advanced features to VuhDo, because they can be helpful, but for now this is pretty much the basic add-on. You know, you've got all your notifications going everywhere, you're able to see where your prayer of mendings or whatever spells you have are, you're able to use all of your basic heals with it, you know. So hopefully this should do pretty well for you. And you know, if there's anything else you think I've missed off or that I could add to the basics, let me know in the comments down below. But for now guys, I hope this helps you out. I would suggest using VuhDo over pretty much all the other healing add-ons. If you want, you can add mouse over macros to it. I use mouse over macros as well. So I think that's quite helpful that you can just simply use it for those as well. But anyway guys, I hope this has helped you. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and thanks for watching.